Real progress on diversity and inclusion doesn't happen without real work.
So in other words, are white people being victimized? It means no white people. Diversity means no white people. Fewer and fewer white people, especially white males. Oh, they'll allow some of the white females to stay. White females are increasingly being targeted. But hey, if nothing else, it is an opportunity to get some office ass, right?
Celebrate diversity into your X1 voice remote to discover curated content.
Look, this is America.
Content today.
Every day, General Mills serves the world by making food people love. And inclusion is one of our secret ingredients.
I can't. I'm just pontificated to by displacers, by white erasers, half-wits.
At Kraft Heinz, our purpose is to make life delicious.
Look at all these different companies. They're saying no white people. No, is that victimization? Legal discrimination and socially, morally, ethically endorsed and applauded. Every king company.
And we believe we can't achieve that without one essential ingredient: diversity. It's diversity that makes life delicious.
Fuck that. It's diversity that makes you want to puke my fucking guts out. That's what it is.
We're on a 400-year-long journey. And
look, and the black women are all pregnant. They all pregnant. The white women, they're told, hey, you got to be a slut. You got to have as many guys as possible and maybe even never get married. But you just need to bed down everywhere and then be a spinster and get old and die with a bunch of pets around you. That's what you need to do. But the non-white women, they're so pregnant.
Scars don't fade, but neither does hope.
Ask your doctor if black people are right for you. That's right.
Yeah, so that's where I'm sure like an Elon Musk or your basic bitch white person, they're like, oh, he must be on our side. He must be on our side. No, it's called pacing, you half-wit. That's what it's called, pacing. He's giving you a joke for your side of the argument, which is the victimized side, so that he can reel you right in and then bring you in the direction he wants to go, which is more anti-whiteism.
Nobody's buying Vaseline because of diversity. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever actually bought Vaseline. It's just there. Like it comes.
You notice these. This is like the Seinfeld show. Did you ever watch the Seinfeld show? They had took snippets, and I saw this a number of times on the internet years ago, and they played snippets without the laugh track, and nothing they said was funny. The laugh track is what makes you laugh and think it's funny.
Comes with the house, right? So that's how things stood in 2020, but that was like 15 years ago. Today, when people talk about DEI, it's more likely to sound like this.
DEI is just a rebranded version.
So is that how, now he's setting up a false context that 20 years ago, when we talked about DEI, it was all about making things more delicious. All about making them more delicious and livable and vibrant. And you remember the words they used to always use? It was just 20 years ago. But nowadays, when people talk about it, it is that what the judge here is going to say, that it's discrimination against white men. Is that what she says? Let's see.
Version of hating white people.
Okay, so hating white people. Of course, the black judge is able to say, this Ingram white female, this crane of a human being, she should be standing out in a field with one leg up off the ground, pecking through the dirt. She won't be able to say that it's victimizing white people because she's more anti-white than the black judge is. But is that the conversation about? No. People have complained about, well, the conservatives in their normal way of complaining about DEI have been complaining about that ever since it was introduced as a title of rubric in education and work, etc. The mentioning of the white race, though, that's our doing. And you'll see more about that. And the fact that we're not getting credit and not getting the invites and everything just shows how far the white race has fallen. But this guy is setting up this false construct to move you through. Well, in the past, they used to say nice things. Now they say bad things. And I think what he's going to do now is he agrees with the bad things to say that it's not doing enough.
DEI in this case stands for divisive, erroneous, and insidious.
Oh, it's divisive, erroneous, and insidious. Oh, cheers. Cheers. You're so witty. Laura's so witty. Let's make her another million with her next book, okay? Let's go out and make her more of a millionaire. And while Jason muddles away for decades in impoverished obscurity, doing the thing that works, let's make sure that Ingram, with diverse, erroneous, and invidious, whatever she said as well, let's just make sure that that's the way that it continues, okay?
DEI
she makes the money.
Didn't earn it.
Oh, he didn't earn it.
Discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination.
Oh, discriminate. Why can't you just, they will call it, these cuck, dickless losers, except for Ingram. She probably has a pretty big dick. These cucked losers will call it anything but what it obviously is in front of their face. A victimization of white people and our norms. Stop supporting these people. Support us. Christ's sake.
Nation.
DEI. DEI stands for Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and Ice Cube.
They laugh and cheer at that. Though that sounds like a bunch of 5-year-olds to me that should never be given any respect whatsoever. I mean, sake. Woo! Somebody called Ice Cube. Are you serious? This is Western civilization. Shut your fucking mouth up, you absolute children. You think we're going to go to the stars with Dr. Dre? Ice Cubes. No, they're going to be like hip-hopping. They're going to be hip-hopping with their like cardboard spaceship behind them.
Yeah. Y'all cheering out there, but do you want with attitude coming to your office?
Oh, yeah. Okay, the NWA. Yeah, like no one should know what that is. They should have been, that band, they should have been collected and then dropped off in Zambia or dropped off in some hostile tribe in Africa. Bing, there you go. Now let's see if you are with attitude. You're going to be more probably like with spices on your ass as they turn you on a spit.
These right wingers are crazy, right? Jesus. But here's the part where you all stop applauding everything I say. The truth about DEI.
Oh my God. That's how you make that sound. It's. If you can't get that, there isn't much more that you'll be able to get.
Is that although it's well-intentioned, it's mostly garbage.
So here you have it. Here's where, I don't know, maybe this is where Musk had another rocket taking off. He's like, mostly garbage. Wow, that's good. Black guy's saying that. Mr. Musk, your rocket is taking off. Oh, yeah. Well, let me turn to that right now. Actually, he can't talk that smoothly, but.
Okay? It's kind of like the Black Little Mermaid. Just because racists hate it doesn't mean it's good.
Okay, so if white people, notice the anti-white narrative here. If white people object to it because it's not representative or it's white representative of our people, our norms, our customs, because it is white erasing us from our stories, our narratives, our etc. If we object to it, then you are the worst thing in Western civilization. You are the synonym of the devil, of evil. And that, of course, is the word we don't use, which is racist. So do you see how that kind of just sneaks in right there? So if white people don't like it, doesn't make it good. It needs to be even more anti-white, says this anti-white, non-white.
And you know I'm right, because every one of you has sat through one of those diversity training sessions and thought, this is some bullshit. And it's not just you.
No, they often will think it's bullshit, but because it's a waste of time, they would just rather have the day off than have to sit through the class. And they know it's not for them. They know it's for the white people. So for them, it's a total waste of time. It's anti-white obedience training. It's just for the white people. And I would not put it past them in the coming years in businesses and schools and all to say to non-white people, okay, you don't have to attend. You're not the evil ones in Western civilization.
Over 900 studies have shown that DEI programs don't make the workplace better for minorities. In fact,
non-whites don't use minorities. And how could it not all these studies? So do you want to debate them on the studies?
Can actually make things worse because of the backlash effect.
The backlash, which you will be absolutely fired. You will be, if you're white, you would be removed so fast from the totality, not just of your job, but from the industry. If you decided you were going to get revenge on the preferential treatment. Now, how could, just pay attention to what this anti-white guy just said. He just said that there is backlash because of what? What could there be backlash for? The preferential treatment, the special privileges, the freedom from responsibility that anti-whites who are non-white or otherwise privileged group get at the expense of Western kind, specifically white males. So he's saying we get preferential treatment, special privileges, freedom from responsibility that could engender backlash. No evidence of backlash. There never is. It's like the evidence of the anti-white concept, institutional race. There is no evidence of it. If anything's institutionalized, it's anti-whiteism. It's actually in the laws. They're having commercials. It's everywhere you go in these buildings. It's just like, we're all for getting rid of white males. They'll call it diversity. They'll call it etc. That's what's institutionalized. So this guy just admitted to the preferential treatment.
Remember Dare from school? Y'all remember Dare? Yeah. She said, woo. DEI training is like Dare for racism. And you...
It's totally inane. Of course, this was to stop children from using drugs and talking to them about the dangers of it. And it happens to work with white children.
You all know how effective that was. I was sitting there going, oh, shit, there's a ton of fun drugs I should try.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's just, we're not the same. Maybe that's, we're not the same.
I didn't even know about Molly. Thanks, Officer John. But the biggest failure of DEI is that the number of black people in power at big companies is basically the same as it was 5 years ago.
I mean, can you believe that? First of all, it's basically the same. False. False. But can you imagine having to have your backward looking for your current point have to be so shallow as 5 years? Basically, the entire echelons of the biggest of companies. It says this guy. I'm doing an impersonation of him, the best I can. I'm not great at it. They're not all black yet. They're not 100. White people still there. If white people there, then it means it hadn't worked.
In fact, maybe the only thing that DEI has accomplished is giving racist white people cover to be openly racist.
DEI breeds complacency.
So that's what he's claiming, to be white, give white people cover to be racist. So who are the evildoers in this anti-white narrative? Do you want to remain inside of it, my conservative brothers and sisters out there, or do you want to follow us to freedom and well-being?
Dana, and complacency kills.
We're going to have doctors who don't know how to perform heart surgery, and we're going to have planes that are falling out of the sky.
Boeing recently bragged not about being the best in the business, but about surpassing its diversity quotas. Oh, goody. But then, not so good, a door flying off one of Boeing's 737 Supermaxes.
I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
So notice there, all of these conservative content creators are talking about anything other than our victimization. They're talking about everything else. And this guy is saying, admitting, by the way, that his motivation is non-white hirees that are automatically qualified on the basis of their race and occasionally sex. Because if you say otherwise, then you are this anti-white slur.
I mean, honestly, when I see a black pilot, I'm not worried that we're going to crash. I'm worried that we're going to get pulled over.
Yeah, this is the anti-white narrative. Yeah, black people, everywhere they go, it's just so hard on you. Fuck you. It will never again be this good for blacks on planet Earth. Never again. You could never do this. I mean, this is unbelievable. They're worried about just getting pulled over. Fuck you.
Okay? That's right. That's right. That's right. And no, officer, I will not step out of this vehicle. All right? But yeah, they're blaming DEI for everything. Even that bridge in Baltimore. They called Baltimore's mayor the DEI mayor, like he was given the job for being black. Then they said the shipping company.
Actually, I object to that usage. We talked about that's stupid to say DEI mayor, but he probably was voted for because he's black. I mean, come on.
Was too focused on DEI instead of safety. But almost the entire leadership of the company is white. No black people. Right?
Well, how many of those people are Jews? This is another trick that anti-whites like to play. It could be all but one Jew, one white person, all the rest are Jews. And they're like, look at all the white people.
If anything, the Baltimore mayor, he should have been the one to make it racist. Just come out like, these crackers knocked down my bridge.
So then he uses this anti-white. If I used a racial slur for this anti-white black POS, it would, because the anti-whites are in charge, because white people are a demonstration that whites are not in charge, he can call us this slander. And I reject the use of racial slander. So I reject him, and I push back the use on him of him using this racial slur against white people. And I apologize to those who found it offensive. But a great demonstration that anti-whites are in charge is if I did use a racial slur, I would be victimized. Him, no. Anti-whites are in charge.
Okay? All right? And one of y'all crackers better pay for it. Okay?
Again.
And honestly, I'm not surprised these programs didn't work. And here's why. It's just corporate PR. They want good vibes. And also,
it's just corporate PR. When they change the racial demographic of the company, when they actually have bodies in seats, non-white and female, that have replaced whites, males in these seats, it's just PR. It's not substance. I mean, can you believe this piece of shit is actually saying this? Of course you can, because of how anti-white he is.
So they want to cover their ass, okay? Did you know that if
they want to cover their ass? Yeah. Can only imagine if folks like this were in charge of the English language, how quickly we would be down to a 100-page dictionary.
Company gets sued for civil rights violations, just having a DEI program will be counted as evidence in their favor, even if the program doesn't do shit, okay? It's the I have a black friend of the legal system, all right? We don't need corporate DEI. Yes, we want diversity.
And notice as well that even though he's an anti-white, and this is something that I've noticed over the years, and really informed, a chunk of this informed a piece of the greater picture of what I've done with the Go Free practice, is that everything he's saying is from the position of what's good for blacks. You notice that? It's always what's good for blacks. You see a Jewish guy in this position, he'd be talking about what's good for Jews. Hispanic, what's good for Hispanics. Asian, what's good for Asians. White people, what's good for everybody but white people.
And equity and inclusion, but we don't want it from Vaseline. Although I'm not going to front, Vaseline has been there for the black community. Respect, okay? All right, that's right.
So he can do this black power fist. But if I did a salute associated ostensibly nominally with white people who cared about white people, I would be gone.
Moisturized. Okay. Look, man, real DEI is only.
Oh, by the way, you're welcome for that. You're well. It's not Vaseline. It's the white race, motherfucker. So you could get down on your knees and thank me. Go ahead and thank me, and I will be the avatar. In fact, every white person you come across, get down on your knee and thank them for the Vaseline that you use to moisturize your face. How about all the tech in that studio? How about those dollars? How about the white women you get to bed down with all the dollars and the fame that Western civilization is giving you? How about all the fancy meals? How about all the electricity? How about the fancy watch on your wrist? Were any of those clothes produced by a tribe in Nambia?
Only going to come from black leadership. I don't know how to do it because I'm not a black leader, but I do know
It's got to come from black leadership. Blacks need to be in charge. So white people, you got it?
how to tell if it's working. Just keep an eye on right-wing media. The more they're freaking out, the more progress we're making.
Yeah, that's funny. The more the right wing and progress, just note what he defined as progress. This is the things that I, over the years, have done and I've been teaching. What do they call progress? He's calling progress fewer white males, fewer white people. That's what he's calling progress. So you can see, oh, my conservative brothers and sisters out there, don't look for the abstraction. Don't look for the abstraction. What did he just call progress?